Hey, it's been a little while, so let me give you an update. All right, so first things first. One thing that I've noticed with anything, especially for beginners, all right, is if you see here, this is where you kind of have to cut. You know, this is laser etched or laser cut. So you want to make sure that when you do this, that you take a file and you smooth all of these out. The reason for that is if you decide to paint, all right, and again, if you're going to paint MDF, and you can see MDF because you can see that it's different sheets here, all right, is use Minwax gel paint, all right? That's going to be the best thing. Or if you're in another country, whatever, premium paint company you have in your area, then use gel paint. So a couple things here. So this is made out of rubber. All right, this is what came with it. All right, and I'm going to change these out, and I'm going to put felt around here, kind of like a thick felt. All right, and then if you notice here, it didn't come with washers, but I think I'm going to use some washers here. All right, just so that way there's a better, tighter contact area and bigger surface area rather than this nut, wing nut, this button right against the wood. All right. With the drawer system, which is this drawer system here, it came with these two pieces. But then you also have these pieces here. Again, you can kind of see that the wood is slightly darker here, well, a lot darker compared to this more whitish type. You can see this one closely matches this wood, all right? But the same thing, the instructions state that these wing nuts should be on this end, but I found it easier, at least with my fingers or the way I'm used to doing things, is to switch these around. So we're gonna move on to the Occre Workshop. All right, with the Oakley Workshop, all right, so I've done these. This is the left side. This is where it's going to have a wood drawer, and then your plastic sectioned off piece drawers. All right, these ones right here. All right, let me show you. So these ones right here, these are made by Oakley. All right, you can see their insignia there. All right, so very nice, sectioned off for different pieces and everything. All right, so with this was pretty easy to build. You just have to be real patient in regards to, all right, putting things together and letting the glue, not the glue, but the glue do its job. All right, the biggest a little bit of a headache, I guess you could say, is, so as you can see, this isn't flush to the floor because one side is longer than the other. So this piece right here, all right, was coming on, it wasn't staying put for the glue. So what I did was I put one of those plastic drawers here, all right, and then with my clamps, I clamped it here, so that way, here and here, all right, so that way I had 2 points of contact to ensure that it was staying. After that, it was no worries. Now we're coming to the right part, all right, so again, well, a couple things you want to be on the lookout for is, so this is a 1, 2, 3 board system, all right, with grooves down here. So this right here, you want to be extra careful for, because this, what I found was a little bit of a pain was, so you did you hook these pieces here, these dividers, to this part. All right, so from there, they want you to do this part. But if you come over here, this piece is done before you put that midsection here. So trying to get this groove in its place was a bit of a work. So what I did was I just took a regular X-Acto knife and I moved it in there so that way I could slightly move it, and then it butted up real good. All right, then I had to do this piece right here. You want to be very careful with this part right here. So this is, this part right here, all right, these little sections here. And obviously when you glued this, all right, you want to do this immediately so these right here can kind of wiggle to your need and then clamp them in place. So the biggest part was right here, all right? So this part right here was wanting to kind of peel back. Like it seemed like this part was slightly curved. I don't want to say warped, but it just wasn't butted in. So as you can see, I kind of had to finagle a system so that way this part, and I put a little bit extra glue so that way we can see. And then for added support, I did this. So those are some of the things that you want to watch out for. What I found was when I was doing this piece right here, before, this was one of the last pieces that I did. All right, so these side pieces were the very last, well, I'm still going to be doing this one, but this side piece was the last piece that I did in this particular setup. So what I found was before you do this part, and when you're installing this part, even though the instructions state to do this part, before you do that part, do this part first. Get everything sided in. Then you can put this piece in here, again, using an X-Acto knife. Just kind of shimmy it in there. It didn't damage anything. Then put this piece right here. I think that would have been a much better way of doing things, but maybe you have much better luck than I did. Again, this is in reality my second or third complete set. Keeping in mind that this was my very first one. All right, this is my second. And then this piece right here, to include this, is my third. All right. The name of the game is to be patient. All right. You gotta let the glue dry. You can't do a whole bunch of pieces at the same time. I know I want to get started on my modeling, but you just gotta be patient. That's the name of the game with this. Patience pays off. Pay attention to detail. Sand these areas. Make sure that everything looks nice and neat. At the end of the day, you're going to be using all of your workshop area for years and years and years, and maybe even gift it to a child or even a grandchild or whatnot. So take care of your pieces. Patience, pay attention to detail, perseverance. That's the name of the game. So let's see how this did. And it worked. It did not come undone. This, you can either leave it there or you can sand it down. It says to use, a wet wipe or, a rag that you wet a little bit, but because this is MDF, I would advise against that. All right, MDF can do a whole bunch of things when it gets wet, so either scrape it off, file it off, or just leave it there. But as you can see, it did its job. I'm happy with this. Extremely happy with this. All right, perfect. All right, well, there's gonna be another video here pretty soon. And luckily enough, I got some gifts. Oh, I got a little add-on for a tripod that I use with my DSLR, but this is going to be for my cell phone, so that way I can record myself doing these and put them up on my website, or really Instagram. And this right here, the helping hands. So obviously it's really made for soldering, but I like this one. I haven't tried it out yet, but I like the fact that you can do it by battery or you can do it by charger. Now obviously this is more of a European plug, and in the United States we do not use this one. So luckily, since I travel back and forth from here to Europe quite frequently, all right, if I need an adapter, I have one, so no worries. But we'll see. It has a little bit of weight, which is important. So that's going to be my next little thing. I will see y'all soon. Bye-bye.